Listen, everybody needs a fairy godmother, just somebody to look out for them. Some people call me their fairy smoke mother, others their internet big sister, but you can call me Hannah, the host of Smoke Sash. So come hang out, let's light up and talk everything there is to life. The good, the bad, the ugly, the embarrassing. I've got a story for it all. Hello and welcome back to the internet's favorite Smoke Sesh. My name is Hannah, your host, and I am so excited to be back with you all today. It is a bright and beautiful, sunshiny morning. It is hectic where I am because I am filming this on St. Paddy's Day, and the big city celebration that we have for St. Paddy's Day with the parades and the jello shots and the beads and the chaos and the helicopters happens literally 2 blocks away from me. Will not be participating today. I did not think I mentally had it in me. And listen, when you have that feeling, you gotta listen to it, girl. All right. I'm like, I got things to do. I am on business mode. I wish I had the energy in me to go day drink, but unfortunately, I think I left that with 22-year-old Hannah. 25-year-old Hannah is like, girl, our brain cells, our organ health, I don't think we can take it anymore. So I'm just going to sit and enjoy and do some art and hopefully, harness this newfound spring energy into something good. You can tell the weather's getting nicer when I finally start popping out in cute outfits. Like, okay, hello titties. Hey girls. The girls are out and ready to play. All winter, I'm like sweats, maybe a matching sweatsuit if I'm feeling like actually like I want to put effort into something, but generally sweats. Like when I'm cold, the only thing I can really think about is not being cold. Now in the summer and the spring, the inner whore in me jumps out, and literally I just want to wear the smallest outfit, tightest outfit, most see-through outfit possible. There's something in my soul that really calls to it. But with that being said, I hope you had a fantastic week. Thank you for all the kind and sweet words about the drop, my Canna style drop. You guys, I was like showing my dad, who is the resident stoner in my household, this collaboration, and I went back to look at the whole email thread with the processes and just like our journey together with Canna Style, and we started working on this May 6th. It's been almost a year of us working together and trying to come up with something beautiful, and I'm so glad that it came to fruition in this sort of sense, and we were able to create something genuinely so amazing and so just gorgeous that all of you are going to be able to have and to hold. And this week, I know last week I was like Friday, but the spring equinox is on Thursday, and I felt just in my heart it made way more sense for us to drop it on the spring equinox. I feel like it really brings in good vibes and good energy for the drop. It just makes more sense. So if you would like to get these fairy bongs early, they will be dropping Thursday, March 20th at 12 p.m. EST. Now, I'm sure there will still be some available by Friday, so don't worry if you are planning on purchasing on that Friday. But I would like to make it clear this is a limited edition, limited time drop. All the art and the merch or whatever you want to call it that I've created for you guys has always been a limited drop. As an artist, I really enjoy putting out one big body of work and then moving on to the next one. And this drop is also kind of acting in that sort of way. There will not be a restock. There will not be a second drop. This is the time. If you are interested, if you would like to have this beautiful fairy bong in the iridescent green or the iridescent pink. I mean, come on, you guys. Look at how gorgeous she is. She's been sitting in my house for like months now, and I was like, I can't smoke out of her. I gotta save her. And finally, like last week, I smoked out of her for the first time, and it was magical. But if you are interested in these beautiful fairy pieces, Thursday, 12 p.m. EST, they will be available for you all. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Literally, like, I've been working so long on this. And honestly, this project has really taught me how hard work and time really does eventually pay off. And sometimes, like, the more time and the more work you put into something, the better it is. That quick project, like, sure, sometimes it can be good, but those things that you really put your heart and soul and desire and inspiration into, those are the things that really come out the most beautiful. So I genuinely appreciate all of your guys' support. And yes, come smoke out of me. Come smoke out of this Smoke Sesh Fairy. Are you kidding me? Literally, she's gorgeous. And anytime I have friends come into my house, like, I have so much shit around me. As you can tell, like, look behind me. Your girl is a maximalist. But every time people come into my house, they always spot it and they're like, oh my God, like, what is that? Like, can you smoke out of it? It's like art. It's a piece. It is amazing. So cheers to the spring equinox. Cheers to that drop. Thursday, 12 p.m. EST. Get your hands on it. Let's smoke together, girls. Come get your girl bong, okay? And we will smoke out of her in a second. I have a little bit more catching up with you guys to do. But that's probably the biggest thing happening in my life around this time. The one thing that I'm looking forward to the most this week. But this weekend was really good as well. I had family in town, so I was able to spend time with them and hang out with them, which is, you know, it's always a gamble. It's always like, is this going to be really fun, or is this going to be like, wow, I am literally visualizing all of my traumas in front of me? This is not fun. But it was good. It was a great time. I had to work Friday night, which I haven't worked in a while just because of life stuff and chaos stuff. I work for a very like anti-capitalist, we are different kind of company. Those companies, biggest red flag. They say that and then you have to miss work for like a family like life or death situation and they're like, actually you need to be here. Actually company comes first. Bitch, shut the fuck up. Suck my fucking dick. Fake ass bitch. Anyways, that was crazy of me. But I've been missing work a little bit recently, so I finally worked on Friday. And it was probably 6:45, you know, I'm running around. It's starting to get crazy busy at the restaurant. And all of a sudden, poof, the lights go off. And I was like, LOL, who hit the light switch? What's going on? Like, so funny. And then I looked around and I was like, oh no, like, all the lights are off. Well, it was crazy windy. There was a huge storm on Friday and a giant tree fell in the back and knocked down all of our power lines. So your girl gotta go home early. It was crazy. Everybody just looked around and was like, what the fuck? And it's like, dinner's on us, I guess, which honestly worked out the best because people just started throwing cash at us. And listen, I would rather go home early with the same amount of cash that I would if I stayed the whole entire time. That is a win in my book. So that was great. Got to spend more time with family. Just immediately grabbed a bottle of wine and went over to my mom's house. And yeah, got to see my niece and my nephew. Every time I see them, I always like to do a little bit of art with them. I mean, what kid doesn't like fucking doing art? And art is such a passion of mine that it's like I want to share my passions with my niece and my nephew always. Like, I feel like when I was into art as a child, it was like, oh, you know, all kids like doing art, but it wasn't really something that was taken seriously within me. My parents were always like, oh yeah, art, cute, you're good at it, but it was never like, you can be an artist. If that's what you want to do, you can be an artist. I was never pushed in that direction. Even to this day, my parents are like, okay, well, how much money are you going to make? Girl, please, it's not all about money. Please, my soul needs to live and thrive as well. So if I can kind of provide that for my niece and my nephew, I really try to do that. And I got like cute little ceramic animals for them to paint. We did some painting together. Very adorable, very fun. And thank you so much for the sweet, kind words for Danger. His surgery did go well, very well. Sedation was a little spooky, scary. I feel so bad. Every time I go into that vet, I just immediately break down sobbing because it's like, I don't know what's going on and you don't know what's going on, and that's stressing me out more. I wish it was like, oh yeah, this happens often. Here are these steps to make this not happen anymore. It's like, that's not what it is. It's just, well, shit, I guess we'll try this. So really fucking hope that this is the end of this journey and we can keep him happy and healthy from here on out. He's a checkup on Thursday, but he seems to be doing really well and seems to be just generally feeling better after the procedure. So thank you for keeping him in your thoughts and prayers. It really does. It means the world to me. I get on here and I share the good things with you guys. I get on here and I share the bad things with you guys. It's life, you know. I'm glad that we can at least go through it together, and having you guys to hang out and speak with really does take a lot of that anxiety out of like my system. It's nice to just have a community that sees and hears you no matter what. So thank you. But with that being said, that's really all I have to catch you guys up on today. I've slowly been working on my tattoo portfolio. There's something about the energy of March that is just so energetic and sparking. I don't know how else to describe it. So last March, I also felt this energy. And when you feel this energy, this like rising, bubbling, boiling heat inside you and passion to kind of do something, you have to do something with that energy. You have to, or else if you keep it inside, it will go stagnant, it will disappear, and you'll be like, damn, why the fuck did I not do anything? So last year, literally on this day, I remember going to the St. Patty's Day parade with my boyfriend, and I was just like, I was at my other restaurant at the time, and I was like, I can't do it anymore. This is just not the place for me. I feel like it's holding me back. I feel like I just need to switch the energy up so I can enter like a new era of my life. Like, I just need to do something about it. So I took 4 fucking Jello shots, chugged a couple PBRs, had a Reuben, came home at like 3 p.m. after the parade, immediately got on my laptop, looked up all the different restaurants hiring, even restaurants that weren't hiring, talked to my mom and dad, and were like, hey, what restaurants do you like going to? Because they're big foodies. And like, where do you think I would fit in? What places, think I would make some fucking money at? And I sent probably 25 emails that day. I got a response the next day from the restaurant that I'm currently at being like, all right, great. Let's set up an interview. Bam. By the end of the week, I had a new job. Yeah. So right now I'm also feeling that energy, except for instead of trying to find a new restaurant job, I need to free myself from these shackles of working in the restaurant industry. I see all of these people around me, and listen, I'm a big proponent for working in the restaurant industry. If you are young, you know what, fuck it, any age, if you need cash now, don't go take out that payday loan, girl. Go get a waitressing job, go get a server gig. I guarantee the money, it's just so nice. You're able to go and work and actually get some payoff from it. If you can make eye contact and hold semi a conversation, you will make good money, period. So great, fantastic, love it. At this point in my life, I can't do it anymore. Please, for the love of God, I have to do something new. I see all of these older people that I work with, 30, 40, 50, who sit at this restaurant job and they're miserable. They're miserable where they are. Oh my God, I can't believe I never did anything with my life. Oh my God, like, I can't believe I have to work in this fucking restaurant, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, wow, that looks miserable. The fact that you sit here and complain and do nothing about it, that looks fucking miserable. I cannot be like you. I can't be like you. Please, for the love of God. I'm seeing a alternate reality, and I do not like it. I do not like the signs. I do not like what's in front of me, and I need to free myself. So I've been doing the Artist Way. Artist Way has been going very good. If you want to keep up with it, I will hopefully be uploading my weekly first week recap 1 week in, and I'm feeling, wow, enthralled, enthusiastic. I'm feeling really, really good. Honestly, I feel like I've grown exponentially as an artist simply through doing my morning pages. And I find myself reaching to do art more often. So I am almost done with my tattoo portfolio. And then I have to be a brave, brave girl and use this March energy to go out and pitch myself. And I don't mind pitching myself. I don't mind getting turned down if it means possibly being one step closer to the future that I want. Oh, you're going to say no, bitch? I don't give a fuck. I'm going to go ask like 1,000 people, and I guarantee you one of those people are going to say yes, period. There's something so, I don't know, nice about knowing that anything I want, I can have. It is just, how bad do I want it, and am I going to go out and get it? Knowing that really establishes such a sense of peace inside of me. And yeah, cheers to new beginnings. If you're feeling that spring equinox, enthusiasm and drive, do something with that energy. It will push you into new heights, into new beginnings, into new stories, a new life that you never could have imagined, and that will bring so much peace and positivity to you. So that's how my March is going so far. So far, so good. Feeling good. Feeling excited, feeling renewed, feeling hopeful, and I hope you all are too. With that being said, let's smoke. Ugh, I just can't get over how cute she is. And I just got the photos for the pink one. Oh, she's so cute. I will be ordering both so they can live together. I feel like I just need to have both. Duh. Once again, if you're interested, these pieces will be available Thursday, 12 p.m. EST. I know I said last week they will be available Friday. I'm sure there will be, so don't worry. But get your hands on them. And they will be shipped. Canastyle is amazing. Their customer service, amazing. The way that they package and ship things, amazing. You never have to worry about a piece breaking. They have like a protection. I think it's like under $1, but it's like a protection fee that it's like if you pay 98 cents and your piece breaks in the mail, we'll send you a new one. No questions asked, which I think is so incredible because so many of these like companies are like, $15 protection fee. Girl, shut up. 98-cent protection fee. That's where it is. But she is so gorgeous, so cute, and they will be shipped in time if you order them. By the end of this week, they will be shipped and should arrive earlier than you probably expect, but at least by 420. So we will literally be able to smoke together. Are you fucking kidding? Anyways, let's hit this. Cheers, girlies. Oh my god, my gorgeous, gorgeous girl. Also, my boyfriend put a like dab rig piece into it instead of a bowl piece, and it also did really well. So if you want to use it to smoke as like a rig, you can definitely do so. I did make it with the intention of being more so a bong, but it's good to know that it is usable in many different ways, in many different forms, however you're feeling. But enough of my yapping. Let's get into what's on your guys' minds. Ooh, this is interesting. Do you believe in divine timing? I do, but I think my understanding of it has kind of, the older I get, the more I just generally have a better understanding of life. And I think how I view it now is completely different than maybe how I viewed it at 19. I mean, my divine timing understanding at 19 was very surface level, like, oh my God, angel numbers. Oh my God, like I'm seeing signs and visions. And sure, yes, but like, of course, there's a deeper meaning to divine timing. And I think right now, divine timing to me is more of this peaceful understanding of like, it is going to be okay. You are exactly where you are supposed to be. It will all work out how you wanted to eventually, but you truly need to live in the moment and take it one step at a time. Don't stress yourself out with those future goals and needs by trying to get them in the now when where you are in the now is exactly where you need to be. A lot of that has come through kind of my career hunting recently. My frontal lobe developed and I had a lot of fun in my early 20s, but I realized like the fun that I was having was not sustainable. Of course, the life that I was living was not sustainable unless I wanted to be like a mollied out rave girl with 3 kids. Like that shit is just not going to happen. That's not the life that I want to live. Is it a life I could have fallen into? Yes, definitely. But thank God we developed a little bit more up here. And it's like, no, we need peace, stability, quiet. Like that's what I'm searching for. And in that moment, I feel like there was 2 options there. I think a lot of people in their mid-20s do have a mental breakdown moment where it's like, what the fuck am I doing? But truly knowing that like divine timing, well, I am where I am. I'm appreciative for where I've gone and I'm appreciative for where I am about to go, kept me from having that mid-20s mental breakdown, kept me from spiraling and being like, well, I'm doing it all wrong. I'm being so bad. I'm not doing what I want to do. All these other people, blah, 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 bullshit. You know what I mean? It truly was, well, I am where I am. And yeah, you know what? I'm thankful for the realization of knowing maybe this isn't where I want to be, or I would like to grow more in the future. And I don't know where I'm going to go. That's what really causes that mental like breakdown in most people to hit fully, where it's like, well, I don't like what I'm doing, but also what the fuck am I gonna do? Like, what the fuck am I gonna do, girl? How the hell are we gonna pull this off? I don't know. I've been through so many hardships at such a young age that it was like a lesson that was being hit over my head over and over again, that it was like, you will figure it all out. Shit might be fucking crazy right now. You might not know what direction you need to go, or how you're going to go, or where the fuck you're going to go. But with time and with drive to understand, you will figure it all out. It might not be on the timeline that you exactly thought of. It might not be on the timeline of how fast you fucking want things, but it will get there eventually. There's been so many like dreams and hopes that I've had that it's like, okay, maybe I have those ideas and I do work towards them, and then it kind of fizzles out. And then all of a sudden it's like, boom, randomly, 10 years in the future, I'm like, holy shit, I did achieve that thing though, you know? I kept my hope for it, and I kept dreaming about it, and I kept working towards something. I didn't know what, but something. And that shit did come true. Divine timing. It does play out eventually, but it's so, you can't put like a certain time frame or idea or need behind it. It truly just has to be a trust in yourself, and a trust that the universe will put you on the path that is best for you. It does ultimately have your best interests in favor. And especially in those moments where you're like, damn, I feel like shit's just really hard right now. Like, what the fuck? I definitely am not God's favorite child. Like, why am I going through so many hard things? Or why do I feel so lost? Or maybe why do I feel so disconnected? Especially in those times, there's so much to take out of it and so many lessons to learn that eventually when you come out of it, you do realize like, holy shit, okay, no, I trusted in myself. The universe trusted in me. It did play out safely. I just had to stand by myself and want more for myself, want better for myself. If there's one thing that divine timing has taught me, it's that it will all work out, and it will work out 10 times better than you ever could have imagined. And as I go through this new transition of like new interests, new hobbies, personal transition, financial transition, job transition, whatever it is, I have these goals, and I do have this vision of where I want to go finally. It took me a while to get there. It took me a couple years to get there, of me kind of aimlessly wandering around, but still just doing the best that I could and standing by myself. I knew that the understanding that I was searching for would eventually find me. I just needed to stay consistent with myself. But then it did eventually find me. I did eventually, see this vision of myself that would provide a good life for me in the future. And as soon as that happened, I was like, okay, so now I just need to get there as fast as possible. Now I just need to do all the things as fast as possible and rush through them and just get there. No. Unfortunately, that is not what life is. It's just simply not what life is. I mean, use that drive to get those tasks done and to have, perseverance behind the actions that you do have and the goals that you do have. But there's been a lot of goals, like timely goals, like I need to have this done in a month, that just simply don't happen. And instead of being like getting down on myself and be like, I'm not doing enough, or this isn't working out for me, let's just give up completely, I was like, all right, it didn't work out this month. It doesn't mean it's not going to work out eventually. And let's just one step at a time, keep working towards it. And now maybe I'm not exactly where I envisioned, but I'm getting there finally. Like, I'm seeing movement. I am getting where I want to go. And I think that is a big part of divine timing. It's not on the time frame you might have imagined, but it will eventually happen and work out. And when it does happen, you will get that aha moment that is just so good. I had that yesterday after I completed 18 fucking art pieces, to the point where my arms are sore. Like, they are literally sore from doing so much art. Especially, like, you're like, girl, what How is that possible? I don't know. I had that aha moment that was like, oh, okay, universe. Like, I see you. I am where I'm supposed to be. It's all working out. It all will work out. The timing of it all is not my problem to stress about. What is my problem to stress about is commitment to self, commitment to goals, commitment to that inner vision, that inner future that you do want and you do desire, and never giving up on those things, never giving up on yourself. If you stand behind that, the universe will stand behind you tenfold. Trusting the process is essential for growth and fulfillment. Have you ever done psychedelics? I laugh at this because it's like, can you tell? Can you tell? Are the holes in my brain making themselves that apparent? Yeah. I had a lot of like psychedelic spring, psychedelic summer, and I mean, I know most people wouldn't constitute Molly as a psychedelic because it doesn't make you necessarily hallucinate. But in my opinion, I think I would classify it as a psychedelic because it had similar effects on me that that mushrooms or acid did. So is that my favorite psychedelic? Yes, but not in a good way. Not in a good way. Would I recommend it to anybody? Absolutely fucking not. Just because I think as soon as you do it, it is a very, very slippery slope. I mean, would I recommend anything to anybody? No, for that exact reason. You know, we all go on our different journeys. We all have our different moments. And sure, I do think I'm able to take good things out of all lessons, and I was able to take good things out of, my fucking Molly benders, but ultimately, do I think those moments and those times were the best for my brain health or my personal health? No. And did it make me kind of a dopamine slut? Absolutely. I mean, it was a dark time, so I was like, I'll take any fucking hit I can get. But then the high I was chasing was not like, ooh, I want to get stoned and like lay on my couch and do some art. It was like, no, I'm like itching for that dopamine hit. And that's spooky scary. You know, when you can't find happiness or light in your own life, don't go searching for it in drugs. Now, I've also done many mushrooms. We'll get into that. I have done acid as well. I've only done acid once. I felt like it was too intense of a trip. It was too much for me. I did not like the whole 12-hour thing. Like, girl, why do we take this at 10 p.m. and now it's 10 a.m. and I can't sleep and I'm exhausted and I'm still hallucinating shit? Like, this isn't a good time. It's not a good time. It's not my cup of tea. And then, yeah, the whole mushrooms thing came about. And that was mostly during COVID. I just had a plethora of mushrooms for some reason. I will not get into it, but I hate to say it, I had a great time on those. Not that I'm recommending it, but like it felt like the healthiest, most natural option. And I have some silly fucking stories from being on mushrooms. I remember my two girly friends came over one night and we were supposed to have just like chill, let's put on a cute outfit and go out to dinner vibes. And we ended up hitting a liquor store and then playing what is it called? Oh yes, Edward 40 Hands. But instead of like tall boys, we did bottles of wine. And I was staying in this house for like the first time ever in my life, and all of my roommates were gone. So we taped these eight mushrooms, taped these wine bottles to our hands, and then hung out in the backyard with these beautiful little fairy lights going for like hours. It was so fun. It was so fucking fun. Now those are delinquent young Hannah memories, so please take that with a grain of salt. Am I saying that's what you need to go out and do to have fun? No, but it truly pushed me to levels that I was like, what the fuck am I doing right now? Like, how did we come to this conclusion? So yes, I have done many psychedelic, and if you're going to do them, please have your like your safe adult with you, you know? Have that trusted adult with you, your trip sitter, your best friend. Make sure you have somebody around you who is level-headed, trustworthy, and that cares about you. I don't think you should ever be doing any of these things alone. I think you should be in a safe environment. I think you should make sure you're getting them from a safe place. Like if you're getting anything, any sort of drug, test that shit. Test it, okay? Your life is not something to fucking play with. Test that shit. Please, like I'm begging, be safe. I love you. But yeah, I definitely did way too many, and now my thought process is just all over the fucking place and I can barely read. So please take that as a word of caution from me.
Hey Hannah. Okay, quick question for you. So I am going to take a drug test for work here soon, and I'm so used to like smoking to just like help relieve some anxiety that I've got going on in my life. I'm about to graduate and get a new job, and I don't know where I'm going to be living here in the next few months, and like so much stuff is going on. Do you have any like remediations for anxiety that aren't smoking? Would love to hear your recs. Thanks.
Oh my gosh, yes, I actually do. So first of all, if you're like, oh, I don't think I can go sober for a drug test, you need to go sober. You know what I mean? Like I have definitely been that girl where it's like you did not need to fake that. Maybe you just needed a month off and it would have been good for you. It's always worth the drug test. Do you know what I mean? Usually the things in life that are hard to get, the only thing standing between you and that is a drug test. So you just get sober, just take it, girl. Proud of you for standing by that. Now, oddly enough, when I'm stressed as fuck, well, weed can be great because, yeah, reduce anxiety. It's a great kind of like escaping mechanism in that sort of sense. It slows down the thoughts a little bit. Not that you should be utilizing it for that way, but if you are, like, it makes sense. So think about like the ways in which you utilize weed or the effects that it has on your anxiety and how you can replace those healthily. What kind of activities in your daily life do replace those things? If it's like I have too much pent up energy, like the thoughts are moving too fast, journaling, speaking out loud, having somewhere to dump those thoughts and move on is so nice. So nice. I was having a lot of anxiety middle of the week, and this is what the morning pages are for in the artist way. I just never actually like brought myself to journal until I realized like, no, your journaling should not be, oh, what if my kids read this in 30 years? It should be, no one is ever going to read this. It doesn't have to make sense. You are not rereading it back. It doesn't matter. Get out that energy, get out those negative thoughts, put them somewhere safe and keep it moving. It feels so nice. It feels so nice. And having that commitment to yourself, you don't have to do it every day. You know, I am, because I think it's having a better payoff doing it every day than not. But you know, just when those anxieties are popping up, utilizing that journal, putting them somewhere. I think this is why a lot of people live on Reddit. It's because you can utilize those thoughts inside. You can't put them somewhere safe. You don't have to post them on the internet. You know what I mean? I do think a lot of people are probably just seeking companionship, so I get that. But also, I think a lot of anxiety, at least me personally, is not based in reality, and I truly can just safely take those thoughts out of my body, put them somewhere else, and get the same benefits. So that's really great. If you have too much energy that you're trying to calm down, like anxiety wise, I do love like a quick yoga flow, moving my body in any sort of way, running. I would get so much anxiety as a child and a teen that I would be like, I have to go on a run. And my parents never thought anything of it because they're like, yes, she's being healthy. And like my dad's literally a track runner, so like hello. But it's because I had anxiety, and hello, the way no one noticed, like, girl, I'm going on a run at 11 p.m. That's not normal at 12, and you're letting me run at night. There's lots to think about. But I would have so much anxiety within myself that I would go and I would run and run and run until I couldn't anymore, and then I would walk home. Not only do you get that natural runner's high that feels like you just smoked weed or did Molly or all of the other things all at once, it also gets you a healthy place to kind of put that energy and not have to carry it with you so much. Also, underrated breathing techniques. I love a good breathing technique. Working with your body, working with slowing down your breathing, focusing only on your breathing and not so much on your thoughts. I think it's really great. If you're interested in a good breathing technique, there's the 4-7-8 breathing technique. The 4-7-8 breathing technique allows you to relax the sympathetic nervous system, which is responsible for the fight or flight response, while it activates your parasympathetic nervous system to bring you back to a normal heartbeat, deeper breathing, and a calmer mind. Essentially, what you're going to do is breathe in for 4 counts, hold your breath for 7 counts, breathe out for 8 counts. And you do this, I'll explain. You breathe in through your nose for 4, you hold it for 7, and then you breathe out through your mouth for 8. If you sit down and do this a few times, it does have a dramatic effect on your nervous system. I'm not a meditation bitch. I wish I could meditate. I can't. Meditation is not going to help me slow down the thoughts. In fact, they're going to get faster and more out of control. But doing something active, breathing technique, going for a walk, going for a run, little yoga flow, simply putting my heart above my head for a second, downward dog pose, getting those thoughts out of my mind to a healthy place really, really, really helps, and kind of has that same escapism, slowing down technique that weed also seems to have on people with anxiety. Ooh, I guess speaking of how to move through guilt from your previous unhinged alcoholic, etc. actions. And then simultaneously back to back, someone asked, I think I'm a bad person. And here's the thing. Maybe you were. I mean, listen, maybe you were. Maybe you were in that moment, but that doesn't mean you will be forever. A big part of being human is that we will never be perfect. We will always make mistakes at some point. We simply are not gods, okay? That's the beautiful thing about being a human. We are able to make mistakes, good mistakes, bad mistakes, weird mistakes, any sort of action. We have choice, and we may not always choose the right thing, but that doesn't mean we have to keep continuing to choose the wrong thing. I sit up here and give a lot of advice, but I would be lying if I was like, I'm an angel sent from heaven. I have never, ever spoken bad or accidentally harmed or pooped or farted or like, girl, I am also human. I have been probably a bad person before, but the difference between a bad person and a normal human person is the bad person doesn't learn, okay? They harm, they keep harming. There's no learning. Sometimes it comes from a desire to do harm, psychopathic shit, like born fucking crazy. But genuinely, I feel like most of the time that's pretty rare, and you're either born or taught that way. Most of the bad fucking people I have encountered is from like self-depreciation, like hatred of self, not hatred of other people, hatred of who you are, and pushing yourself to feel worse and worse about it. I did something bad, so I'm a bad person, so I'm going to keep doing bad things. You don't have to keep digging this bigger hole for yourself. I think a lot of women learn this lesson, or just people in general, from dating men. I learned this lesson through my ex-boyfriend, who was a proclaimed victim and bad guy. I mean, bitch, hello. Where the red flag. His self-depreciation should have been a massive red flag, but I was also unhealed and thought I could save him from himself. Spoiler alert, you cannot do that. If they are a bad person, take it at face value. He would do this thing where he would do something really mean and go, well, I'm just a bad person. Like, yeah, but you don't have to be this way. Like, you are actively choosing to keep doing these things, and it would happen over and over, and this was really confusing to me because I always knew change was an option. Like, I never thought that I couldn't grow from this. I never thought that, like, oh, well, I need to box myself in as this certain behavior, this certain type of person. No, I always knew I could change and grow and ultimately do better if I wanted to. So why the fuck could he not figure that shit out? You as an individual have to want the change and see good in yourself. A lot of people don't want good for themselves. They don't see the good in themselves. I don't think you're a bad person. I think you did a bad thing. And sure, that's not okay, but it's human. Learn, grow, apologize, move forward. It's always an option in this life. Find peace in knowing you will always grow. I fucking love this podcast. I feel like such a big sister, and it truly is like healing something in my heart, because sometimes I read these questions and it's like, no, this is a safe space. Someone asked, is it safe for my boyfriend to nut in me now that I have an IUD? Please, like, I love that you come to me with this question. It's never safe, no matter what you have. Like, I don't think anybody should ever take that risk. Keep that in mind. And please, if you have medical questions, ask your doctor. But I love it. It's so fucking funny. I don't want to get on here and be like, yeah, girl, go for it. And then you're like, 9 months later, popping out a new baby. Like, never assume it's safe, especially when it comes to getting nutted in. Feeling so unhopeful with romantic love. What am I doing wrong? I don't think you're doing anything wrong. I just think the general population out there sucks, probably, especially the dating pool. Like, I think about this a lot. Like, why the fuck did it take my hottest, cutest, smartest, most incredible friend literally 10 years to find a boyfriend? Why? Hello. And it's because the dating pool sucks. Genuinely. Nothing to do with you. You could be the kindest, and you probably are, kindest, smartest, hottest, sexiest woman in the entire world. But if the men suck, why the fuck would you get in a relationship with them? This is one of those situations where I'd be like, you know what? It's not you. It's them. Someone said, I'm high as fucking can't remember. Are we able to pre-order your fairy bongs this Friday? Love you. Yes. Also, this isn't a pre-order. You order these and they are immediately shipped to you. They have all been created. The amount that we purchased is ready to go to your home ASAP. Okay. So this is not something that you're like, oh, I'm going to order this expensive thing and then wait 8 months for it to finally be made and then 2 months for it to finally get shipped. No. These are ready to live in your home now. Come collect your favorite fairy and smoke with me. Are you into tarot? If so, any tips for beginners? Yes, and don't come for me for the way I said tarot. It is what it is. Yeah, I have been practicing. This is probably my one consistent practice when it comes to spirituality, and that's why I feel like I don't always keep up with my altar or my sacrifices or my full moon rituals, because I am always practicing tarot. I've been practicing since I was 14, and that's because when I was 14, I was a grunge little Tumblr girl, and I was always at my local witchy store buying new bones and jewelry and crystals and, of course, tarot cards. Now, when I practiced with tarot cards when I was younger, I only practiced on other people, and then I went to a psychic like 4 years later, and they were like, no, you are taking on too many weird energies, and the energies are fucking up your personal energy because of the tarot that you're performing on other people. So stop performing tarot on other people and only perform it on yourself, because that'll be a way to connect with yourself and your spiritual side of yourself. You know what I mean? When you practice with other people, other people's energies get fucked up, and then when you try and do personal readings, you aren't getting the right outcome, or just your general connection to self is all sorts of muddled. So if I was going to be new to practicing tarot, and if you are new to practicing tarot, there are so many talented artists that spent time creating so many different types of decks and different art and different styles behind them. Take your time purchasing a tarot deck that really calls to you stylistically. And there's many different cards to work with. Maybe you work with angel cards, maybe you work with goddess cards. Whatever cards that you work with, make sure they are intentional behind the way you want to connect with the voice of the universe, and make sure they're intentional to who you are artistic style wise. The cards that I got, I purchased 8 months after seeing them in the store. I was in Lawrence, Kansas, and Lawrence on their main strip has this really cute, I think it's called Third Planet, little hippy dippy store, metaphysical shop. Upstairs they have a the local baddies will get it. Upstairs they have a smoke shop, and I remember that smoke shop is where I bought my first ever pipe, because my friend got a fake ID when she was like 16, and then we all took a trip out to Lawrence, and we sent her inside secretly on FaceTime to like look at the pieces, and then I purchased through FaceTime through her with her fake ID. Oh my God. Wow. Anyways, they also sell tarot cards there. Duh. Hello. And I remember seeing a pack there like one random night, and then I kept thinking about it over and over and over and over again. Eventually, I was like, okay, I have to take a trip out there just to get them because I live like an hour away. So I went out there, I bought them. They are the cards that I have been using ever since. And they are also the cards that I feel like I have the most clarity with, and the messages are instant. Now, everybody practices different ways. Obviously, you can do spreads, 10 card spread, 3 card spread. There's many different spreads you can do based on what answers you're looking for. But my favorite way, listen, I'm a quick and easy bitch. My favorite way to use tarot cards is I just shuffle them. And as I'm shuffling them, this hand motion looks very scary, but as I'm shuffling them, I'm literally speaking out loud my question. I'm talking to the universe. Here's where I am. Here's where I'm wanting to go. This is what I'm asking for clarity on. And then as you do it, eventually a card, maybe 2, will fly out of the fucking deck. It is what it is. It will eventually happen. It might take 5 minutes. It might take 5 seconds. A card will fly out of the deck. I usually pick it up, flip it over, make sure whatever direction it's facing is honored and uplifted. And then, yeah, that's my message. Very simple, very easy, quick to the point. But I do this a lot. I do this probably at least once every other week, usually on the new moon and the full moon. And then anytime that I'm like maybe having like a personal issue or seeking clarity on something, and bitch, it will not fucking lie to you. If you stay connected to those cards, working with them, connected to yourself and the universe around you, they will read you to filth. There's been multiple times I have gone to those cards with like delusions of grandeur, like, oh my God, he's cheating on me, like he hates me, he hates my guts, please tell me. And it's like card flips over, you are in the best, healthiest relationship of your life. And it's like, oh yeah, I need that. You're in the best, healthiest relationship of your life, and you are just seeking bad things right now. Oh, heard. Thank you for that humbling experience. So yeah, if you are interested in practicing or developing your spirituality, I think tarot cards are very beginner friendly. I think they are super fun and a great way to practice on a daily basis. Losing passion, how to reconnect with myself, don't want to lose my spark. Ooh. Okay, you know what? I spend a lot of time alone, but I realized how little time I actually spend with myself. Like a lot of that alone time is taken up with, a YouTube video in the background. Oh, maybe like a little podcast, maybe, something. I always have something going on in the background, something that I'm participating with instead of participating with myself. Maybe it's a partner, maybe it's friends. And I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. It just is what it is. And as I've been doing the artist way, every week you are required to do an artist date, which essentially, if you think about it, the artist date is really just intentional time with self. It doesn't even have to be creating art. Like she gives examples of like, okay, well, go to the art museum by yourself and go look at pieces. Go to the dollar store and go pick up random arts and crafts supplies and go home and put stickers on things. Like it doesn't matter. Just doing something intentionally creative with yourself and breaking into that alone time is a great way to bring spark back. It is fantastic. And I understand that like time can get away from yourself. If you haven't connected with yourself for a long time, it can feel a little awkward. It can feel like, oh, who is she? What do we even do together? And we talked like last week about whimsy and play and engaging in more play with yourself. And that's really hard to get to if you don't simply break the barrier of being comfortable around yourself. Taking that intentional time to spend with self. I think it's very easy to almost forget ourselves in that sort of way, especially when society is fucked and very easy to distract ourselves on. Maybe you just have goals that aren't allowing you enough time, but intentionally setting aside time to connect with yourself, to spend alone, awkward time with yourself really brings that spark back very, very quickly, very quickly. I have not created this much art in months, probably since, November, September, October. I don't know, that little seasonal area. I was creating a lot of art, and then I just completely got distracted by crazy life things happening. So I don't blame myself for getting distracted, but remembering that it's important, it's okay to want to spend time with myself, to set aside time for myself, and no, it's not selfish. No, I'm not putting my goals or my priorities behind me, because this ultimately will help me keep that spark alive. It will help me stay driven and persevere to those goals that I do have. If you lose yourself, you lose the passion, you lose the spark, you lose the why of it all. You start just doing things for the mundane tasks of it. And I don't ever want you guys falling into the mundane. I always want you guys to be able to connect to yourself, to connect to the whimsy, to see that like brighter light within you. It's okay to have it dim out every once in a while, but feed that fuel. Take that time alone with yourself. It could be doing anything, it could be doing nothing, but make sure there are no distractions. Even like, I don't mind a distraction if it's like, I'm going to go to the movies alone. I think that's great. You're consuming art. You are spending time alone with yourself. Maybe it's, oh, I really want to go to this restaurant. Let me take a moment to just take myself out to dinner. Maybe it's, oh my God, well, I can't fucking afford dinner, but let me just sit down with my old colored pencils from 7th grade and do some coloring like I did yesterday. I literally was at my parents' house, went into my attic, immediately grabbed like all of my old art supplies because I realized I didn't have as much as I had wanted in my apartment, brought them to my apartment, sat down, and I did art for 8 hours yesterday. Maybe you don't have 8 hours. Maybe you only have 1 or 2. It doesn't matter. Don't make excuses. Sit down, be still with yourself. It will ignite that spark. It will bring you closer to yourself, your understanding within yourself, and your understanding outside of yourself. It's important. You are important. Time with yourself is important. There's nothing selfish about it. Don't let people convince you otherwise. That was a big issue that I had coming back to work, where it's like I needed time away to deal with very important, like I was so sick. I had strep and the flu at the same time. Like I needed to take care of myself. Also, my cat's sick. I had to watch him after surgery, and all the fucking men around me are like, oh, how was vacation? Oh my God, I can't believe you still work here. Oh wow, we haven't seen you in forever. Oh my God, guilt trip, guilt trip, guilt trip. And it was like, you ugly ass bitches have never once done something for yourself. You don't even know what it's like to prioritize yourself. So when you see people around you actually doing good things for themselves, actually taking the time they need, actually connecting with themselves, you get jealous as fuck. You shame them the same way you shame yourself. It's sad. It's sad. Don't fall into becoming that person who never connects with themselves, who never spends time with themselves, who never prioritizes themselves. There's no one more important in this life but you and who you are and how you uplift and support yourself. How to get comfy dressing girly, miniskirts, dresses, heels, sandals, etc. Okay, well, I'm sure I look very girly today, but this is like a very comfortable, like very chill outfit. If I was going out with this and I wanted to dress it up, I would throw on a pair of kitten heels. Okay, no more than a fucking ½ inch. I'm talking kitten heels, teeny tiny. They dress it up very easily. If I'm going out to run errands, I'm going to throw on maybe a pair of ballet sandals is what I was going for, or very simple chic flip-flops. You're like, girl, flip-flops? Yes. Okay, as long as those toes are done. I have a little toe ring on, cute, very running errands coded. But this is literally a Los Angeles Apparel, 100% cotton dress. It has a cute cut, okay? Girls are pushed up and out. Very comfy though, because it's this really comfy, stretchy cotton material that basically feels like I'm wearing a PJ dress. Win, win, win. I mean, having your hair and makeup done also helps. I've found finally the way to do my hair that is not so time consuming. It's just blow drying it. Wow, who would have fucking thought? Blow drying it after I get out of the shower, taking that time to that 15 minutes that it takes to blow dry my hair. So when I wake up in the morning, it's actually cute and I don't have to put any work into it. Work smarter, not harder. Immediately, chic, elegant, hot, sexy, minimal effort, highly comfortable. Fabrics matter. If I'm wearing a mini skirt, I'm wearing shorts underneath it. I don't need my pussy lips flapping in the breeze, all right? None of us need that. No one needs that, dare I argue. So yeah, I will buy the skirt. I will put on the pair of mini shorts under my mini skirt so I feel more comfortable. I will wear the shorter heel because I'll be able to actually walk and my calves won't be burning. My shins won't have splints the next day. I won't be waking up with Charlie horses. The most stylish people are not the ones who look the most uncomfortable. Unless, dare I argue, you are at a festival or a music festival, like, you better go all fucking out and then put on the comfy shoes, you know? Get those pictures, girl. Coachella's coming up. But for everyday life, the girls who look the best are the ones who are in outfits that they put on because they knew they'd be comfortable. They feel good in it. You can tell. Those are those girls that you're like, oh, wow, I wish I had that outfit. It's not because of what they're wearing. It's because of how they're wearing it. The comfortability, the ease that they are exuding.
Hey, Hannah. Okay, so love the podcast. Been a long time listener since day one. Oh my gosh, always clocked into Spoke Sesh. But my question also is like kind of a story slash something that I just wanted to tell you because I thought you'd appreciate it. But okay. So I got out of like a year-long relationship, which was like a 2-year situationship. I know. Okay, we don't need to talk about that.
Okay.
So yeah, altogether knew this guy for like 3 years. It basically felt like we were dating the whole time. But by the end of the relationship, he just like sucked the life out of me, and I felt like a shell of a person, and like I just didn't have any life to me. And I was so embarrassed. I didn't even tell any of my friends that we like broke up because this man did me so dirty. And so like he like really chipped at like my self-perception, like physically, if that makes sense. Like I feel like I have enough security to know like what I like, what I don't like, what I want, and like feeling like I can be a person in the world. But he like really chipped at my self-image, and I'm still trying to build that back up, and it's really hard. Like, how do you do it? Like, how do you get through that? Because it was like the whole stereotypical, like, oh, he wouldn't, like, he just like had like a wandering eye, like wouldn't stop like following women on Instagram. Anyway, this is all to say, how do I build that back up? I will say listening to Smoke Sesh more recently has like gotten my spirits back up. I'm like alive again. And it's not a coincidence that when I like went through a period of time where I wasn't listening to Smoke Sesh, I was dating this man, and then like once we got out of a relationship, I started like listening to Smoke Sesh again, and I was like, wait, I think that's like, it just makes sense. If you listen to Smoke Sesh, like you are a baddie. Anyway, I just wanted to tell you that. Love you.
Oh my God, I love you. Clocked in. I love to hear it. Listen, it's okay. It's okay. We've all been through this before. If you dated a man in general, like especially young, I'm sure you have been through this before. And I know the easiest thing, or not even the easiest, like the most thing here is like, it's not you, it's him. But when you get so attached and enthralled with somebody and how they think and just like the attachment of it all, it's very easy to kind of start blaming yourself in that sort of way. Like instead of looking at the reality of it all, which is like, which you know now is just like, he's a piece of shit and he's gonna have a wandering eye even if he is with, which he was with the hottest, sexiest, baddest bitch. But like he could be laid up there with Bella Hadid and he would still be scrolling on Instagram following random bitches from your town that you haven't spoken to in 5 years. Like, what the fuck? He's just a bad person. He's just a bad person. But the funny thing about bad people is they always like have a catastrophic wake wherever they go. They have no like care about anybody in their circle. So they have this way of like demolishing all of these places they go to around them and then leaving this like trail of disaster behind them. Unfortunately, you did fall victim slightly, not completely. You sound like a very sane, amazing, wonderful woman individually, but Like, of course, he had some sort of effect on you that was negative, and it is with your self-perception. I have been there, okay, with my evil ex. I'm sure you've heard enough about him. He inflicted a lot of trauma on me that I had to heal from, but one of them was like, I came out of that relationship a shell of an individual and not really knowing who I was because I was so caught up and lost in the drama of it all and his problems for so long that my individuality was completely lost. And I think I was chasing that in the wrong direction where I felt like, well, I need to get back to who I was. I need to get back to this girl I was before. Like, I want to have that sense of personality and individuality. But the thing is, there's never any going back. There's never any going back. There is only going forward. Unfortunately, transformation is the only way. But this is a really great, beautiful time for you to reintroduce yourself to yourself. Get to know yourself a little bit more. Try out new clothing. The growth period I went through after my evil ex was so quick and fast because I was not afraid to try different things. Sure, I had no clue what the fuck I was doing, but it was like, you know what, cute. That girl does that thing. I'm going to try it out. You know, I'm going to see if it works. I'm going to see if it doesn't work. I'm going to be wild and crazy here. I'm going to wear this crazy outfit. I'm going to bleach my hair. Like, fuck it. You have all this pent up energy. If you sit there with that pent up energy and just ruminate, you're going to stay stuck. But if you allow yourself to keep transforming, keep trying new things, put yourself out there, that individuality will come back instantly, so much faster than you ever could have imagined. And you are a smart girl. You listen to this podcast. You got a strong head on those shoulders. You are so brave and smart to know that that was not what you needed to get out of there, to know that, you know, this man was a piece of shit and that wasn't what I deserved. So I know you're smart enough to take advantage of this time and to really prioritize yourself during this time. Get to know yourself. Get to spend time with yourself, to try new things, to be brave in any sort of sense that you want to be brave in. But I love you and thank you for listening. I promise that individuality will come back. I promise you that sense of worth, that sense of self, it will. The further away you get from him, the stronger your relationship with yourself will get. And the more you'll be able to understand that, like, what you went through was shitty, but it's because of him. You know, you did nothing wrong. Like, you can't change yourself into a person he likes because simply he doesn't even fucking like himself, babe. I'm watching all these girlies outside, like, walk down the street to the parade day drinking, and the little devil inside my brain is like, well, do we also start day drinking? No, it is 11 a.m. Girl, get it together. Where do I find a man that will let me be a woman? Ooh, let me break the news to you. He's not wearing that dangly earring. He is not posting his outfits on Pinterest. I hate to say it. And not to shame. Like, if you are a more feminine man, I love that. I love that we are able to be ourselves and truly connect to whichever side or drive that calls to you. No shame, no shame. Please just be who you are. Don't lie to yourself, all right? But if you are looking for a manly man, I also don't think he's the buff, working out 24/7, only eating protein, Andrew Tate style-esque man that men think they should be. I think that's stupid as fuck, and honestly kind of more feminine because they're only thinking about the male gaze in itself. I think the real men are the ones who see women fully for who they are and stand beside them 10 toes down. Support, uplift, want to see them win and succeed no matter what. Those are the manly men, okay? They don't have a certain look to them. They don't have a certain style or things to look out for in a physical sense. It is all about how they treat women. Do they see women as people? Oh my God. Do they see women as people, or do they see them as competition? That's not a man. Do they see them as people? Do they want to support and uplift the women in their lives? Do they see the value of the women in their lives? Do they only see women as sexual objects? No, bad. Not a man. Do they see women as full, whole, rounded, real people? Oh my God. Dare I say that's a lot to ask for this day and age. Like, what the fuck? But I think if you're trying to weed out the weak ones, the ones who are going to drag you down to the pits of hell, who will be in a competition with you the entire time, who will ultimately hate you while also dating you simultaneously, the way to weed those out is to be a strong-willed bitch. Okay. I think women are too afraid of being a bitch nowadays. Oh, I don't want to be a bitch, so like, sure, I'll say yes. Oh, I feel bad, so I'll go on that date. Girl, fuck him. Fuck him. If he's a dumbass, tell him he's a dumbass. Like, if you have boundaries, stand by those fucking boundaries. Don't let people walk over them. Be yourself. Don't try and succumb yourself or push yourself down in order to make a man feel comfortable. He should be the one pulling out the chair for you. He should be the one making you comfortable. You know what I mean? And those weak ass men are scared, terrified of a real ass bitch. So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. It'll weed them out very quickly. They will have a negative adverse reaction. You will notice it. Don't feel bad about it. Just know they can't fucking handle you. They can't take the heat. They can't support you. Cut that shit off quick. Keep it pushing. All right. I guarantee. If you waste your time like only focusing on what 3 people think about you, you're eventually going to just stay within those 3 people and make it work. But if you work with 3,000 people, you will look at those options, you will take your time, you'll go around, and you will have a better outcome. Do you know what I mean? It's like the whole job search thing. It's like, I'm not going to waste my time only applying to 3 places. Of course, I'm probably going to hear no. I'm going to waste my time applying to 3,000 places, and ultimately I'm going to walk out there with a yes, and it will probably be a better yes than the one that if I just doled myself down to fit a smaller group of things. Does that make sense? That might be the weed talking. I hope my strange allegories resonate inside you. I hope you guys are picking up what I'm putting down. You know what I mean? But yeah, girl, in this day and age, please don't be afraid to be a real ass bitch. The real men will find you. They will find you. And it will feel amazing. It'll feel great. It'll feel like you're on Molly practically. You're like, wow, this exists. This is real. Like, I can feel happy. That's crazy. Also, speaking of just being a real ass bitch, I think we're lacking them in this day and age. Everybody wants to be so like consumable in the sense of like, but I need to fit into this group, and then I need to fit into this group, and I need to make sure everybody fucking likes me. Listen, there's something to be said about a woman who is herself. I mean, I could definitely not like her, and she could be a bitch, but at least in the back of my head, I'm like, at least she's a real ass bitch. At least she's not going to come up to my face and be like, I love you, and then turn around and talk shit about me behind my back. Fake ass bitches. At least she's a real ass bitch. At least we know we don't like each other and we can move on. All right. Like, we can just understand that and find peace in that. I love a real ass bitch for that reason. Like, you don't have to be liked by everybody. You can have standards. You can be who you are. You can stand by those things. Of course, don't be mean and evil and a bad person, like we were talking about before. Don't be rude to people. Don't be disrespectful. Like, that's not a real ass bitch. I would argue that is a fake ass bitch as well. But I think there's something just admirable about being who you are and standing beside that and not letting anybody tell you fucking differently. Oh my God, divine timing. Someone said, P.S. You're so good at coming up with analogies that actually work and get the message across. It's crazy. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Not me literally needing to hear that. Because sometimes I feel like I'm speaking in riddles like a bridge troll. And like, if you get it, you get it. You can cross the bridge. But most people are probably not crossing that fucking bridge, bitch. So I'm glad. This I fucking make sense. Love. Need to quit my job. Oh, my hostile job with misogynistic and hateful managers. But scared. Me as fuck. You and me both, girl. At least you know you're not alone. How I'm kind of gay planning it. Listen, my parents taught me never quit a job until you have another one lined up. Because if you quit a job and you don't have another one lined up, of course you still have to make money and you become a little bit more desperate. And then you're going to probably end up working a job you hate more, which can then drive you, I guess, if you're good at working with energy, into a better direction. But like, let's just skip that step entirely and have something else lined up. So I always keep that in the back of my head, where it's like, even if you hate it, it's at least stable. Money is depositing into your account. Now, if the money was not depositing, get the fuck out of there. But it's hitting every 2 weeks on Friday. Like, period. We at least have that stability there. Now, getting there and dealing with it is a whole nother ordeal, because of course not everything is for money and it is probably draining you. But I do love the idea of applying to jobs while on company time on the company computer. Like, girl, fuck you. Fuck you. I'm gonna go take that bathroom break. I'm gonna scroll on Indeed for 15 minutes. I'm gonna go apply to 15 other jobs on your dime. Period. In restaurants, I just start stealing things. I'd be like, well, I'm gonna go anyways, so I'm gonna take toilet paper, I'm gonna take like shot glasses, I'm gonna take bottles. Not me admitting to stealing. Please don't come for me. It's just petty theft, nothing crazy, and it's only in the past, it's not now. Don't come for me. But I'd be like, well, I'm not spending any more of my money on toilet paper. I'm gonna steal some. Even in college, I would do that. I steal the massive fucking rolls of like the 1-ply toilet paper. I'd be like, well, I need it more than you. You're taking enough of my fucking money through my tuition, girl. Fuck you. But like, get what you can out of it before you dip. Apply to those jobs on company time. Have that fuck the system kind of mentality when you go in there, so you don't give as much of a fuck. People like that ultimately like want to get to you and want you to think about them as much as they're thinking about you, or want you to suffer as much as they are. But you can't let them win. You can't let them win. Ultimately, it's like you're fighting good versus evil, and you cannot let that devil crawl inside of you. It's not worth it. You don't have to be miserable. Like I said, as long as that check clears, we're good. And yeah, just having more to look forward towards, knowing you will be off in a better place sooner rather than later, and they'll be stuck miserable for the rest of your lives. I find a lot of peace in that, truly.
Hey Hannah, love the pod. I just finished my second quarter at art school. I'm a freshman, and oh my god, that burnt me out so much. I have one more left for the rest of the year. I'm really happy in where I am in my degree and what I'm doing, and I think it's a really good school for me. But my lord, the burnout. What? Any advice? Because I'm not at the point where it's like I'm hating my passion. I chose a career where I know that my hobbies and my passions and my education career are kind of intertwined, but not so intertwined that I will get burnt out from the things that make me happy. But just in terms of academics and the day-to-day, like, how do I not crash and keep good grades? I don't know if that made sense, but any advice, that would be great. I love you. Thank you so much.
I actually think a lot of you are going through academic burnout right now. I mean, now's the time. That's why they literally have spring break right now. It's because the teachers are crashing out. It's because the students are crashing out. Like, finals basically just happened, and now we're basically at finals again. The spring moves so fast, and it does have this silly way of burning out, I think, people faster than maybe the winter semester does, because summer's right there. Summer's right there. Hello, I don't want to be fucking doing this. It's warm out, it's sunny out, summer's right here. Like, I can see the finish line, but it would be so much easier to just give up now than to cross that finish line. Now, I am glad you're pursuing something you do enjoy, so it's like that underlying passion, that fire never gives out. But like, when it comes to the bullshit of it all, of like, I don't want to take this fucking test, I don't want to memorize all fucking however many bones there are and nervous systems in the body. Like, I'm over it. I have done enough. I feel like I'm gonna crash out soon. Whenever you have a moment to yourself, such as spring break, a little break here or there, a long weekend, even a weekend in general, maybe a day, maybe even just an afternoon, whenever you have that time for yourself, you got to get a little selfish. You got to prioritize that self-care. I understand, like, when it comes to final season and you have to put that aside, but you have to kind of make up for that lost time eventually. So whenever you do find those downtimes where it's like, okay, I'm not pushing so hard finals wise, like, I know finals are coming up, so let's kind of re-energize a little bit. Let's kind of build up that energy, preserve that energy inside of us, so then when it does come to having to utilize it, we have extra built up. Take those times, get a little selfish, have that self-care day, go to that spa, have that massage session, do that yoga flow if it helps you move your body, you feel like you've been sitting too long. eat that good meal, make that bread you want to make. Like, just spend time with yourself in whichever way makes you feel passionate and recovered, and prioritize those times. Really take those times whenever you have them. Don't just fall victim to being like, oh, I do have a moment to myself. Let me sit and scroll on my phone for 8 hours. Like, there's other things you could be doing during that time that will actually make you feel well rested, that will help your nervous system, and that will replenish that energy that you will eventually have to use again when it comes to the next final season or whatever. But there is something about when the weather gets warmer that it's like, I'm over it. I want to get outside. So maybe go get outside. If you have to go study, do your flashcards outside in the sunshine before you have to go lock yourself away in the library. Take advantage of those moments you do have. I think it's so important, especially to keep ourselves going, to replenish that energy and to have that residual energy to use when maybe we are feeling a little bit lower than usual. It's important. School is important, but the way to keep going through school is to make sure you're taking care of yourself. You can't just be a vessel trying to memorize things. Like, you're not going to be able to memorize them. You won't have any space in your brain. Your brain will be dehydrated. You won't have any iron. You'll be like on the bridge of passing out. Feed yourself. Take that time to yourself. Sit in some sunshine if you've got it. It's important. You are important. Ways to combat my bitchiness. I complain too much and want to feel more positive. Ooh, I guess on the other side, if you're too bitchy. I mean, I feel like when I become this like, just like almost like depressive, angry person, it's because there's something in my life that I'm very deeply unhappy with and I just haven't addressed it yet. Maybe I just don't know what it is yet, or maybe I do know what it is and I'm completely running away from it. But as soon as you address that part of yourself, whether it's like, I fucking hate my job, but like, we need to work on the way that I visually understand it, and also maybe start looking towards other things, that really levels out my bitchiness. It makes me stop complaining so much. Maybe it's, oh, I'm really unhappy with something interpersonally. Who knows? There's always just something that is slowly bothering you in the back of your head, turning your smile into a frown, turning everything more negative than it really needs to be. And as soon as you're able to understand what that thing is, be brave enough to combat it, because it will help you from becoming just a miserable, depressed person. Like I said, work with a lot of miserable, depressed people who it's like constant complaining. Oh, I wish I wasn't in this position. I wish this didn't happen to me, blah, blah, blah. I literally had a coworker get fired for this because she was complaining to customers about how much she hates her job and this place sucks. And I work for misogynistic men and they just hate me and blah, blah, blah. Like, honestly, kind of spitting facts, girl, but you cannot say that to the customer sitting at your bar while also chugging straight vodka out of your 40-ounce tumbler. It's just not going to come off good, I promise you. So instead of becoming that person who complains, secular, complains, does the same thing again, complains, does the same thing again, try and look outside the box. Try and figure out those problems instead of just complaining about them. Like, if shit sucks, yeah, it might suck, but that doesn't mean you can't find a way out of it. Do you know what I mean? Find that thing that's bothering you, fix it. To the best of your ability, at least address it. That will help tenfold. But if you can fix it, if you can find a way out of it, if you can redirect your thought process, really helps with the bitchiness. Thoughts on nudes? Personally, in a long-term, loving, committed relationship, safety, love a nude. Love a nude. I don't want to receive a nude. I don't know. I mean, I'm literally around him all the time, but like occasionally he works a lot. So like, sure, I'll send a little titty pic. I'll send a little ass photo. You know what I mean? But like, do I want an unsolicited dick pic? No. No one wants that. I mean, at least as a straight woman, I don't think many women want unsolicited dick pic, or even, I guess, solicited. I don't know. But when I was on my girls trip this past summer and I was gone for 2 weeks, it was the longest we'd ever been away from each other in basically 5 years. And yeah, you know what? I liked a little sexy pic every once in a while. Keeps the spark alive. And I'm not, believe it or not, I am not great with my words. Like, especially when it comes to like sexting, I'm not a sexter. I can't put into words what I want to do with you without like getting secondhand embarrassment and not wanting to press send. Like, I would rather just take a picture of my fat ass, God's given gift, and send it to you so you can drool over it. I think, in my opinion, that's much easier. Now, I think if you are young and if you are going through like flings in these relationships, I think you should be very careful about who you are entrusting with these pictures. I think you should be very careful about thinking about that. Yes, anything that you put out there into the world through your phone is there forever, and you should be aware of the people that you're sending it to. And I do think that people need to earn trust from you before you just start doing these things. Please, safety, 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 safety. Like I said, I'm not here to fearmonger. I think you should be young, hot, sexy, and take as many photos of yourself as you want. If you are randomly scrolling through your photos one day and it's like, oh, my cute cat, oh, food, oh, random screenshots, oh, tits, sorry, I didn't mean to show that. Like, just be aware, okay? But yeah. And like, if I was in a relationship with a woman and she sent me pictures of titties at 11 a.m., I'm not complaining. Oh my God, are you kidding me? Anyways, with that being said, we have come to the end of our episode. I know, I'm so sorry, but I had such a good time hanging out with you guys today. It was so fun. I always have such a great time here on these podcasts. I feel like my morning journal sessions that I do with myself are very similar to the sit downs I have with this podcast. Like, I feel like not only do I get to connect myself, but I also get to connect to the community around me, which is even more amazing. And I'm just so thankful for all of the opportunities you've provided me and for the growth you guys have provided me and for being brave enough to get up here with me and maybe admit our faults or admit where we want to go, have our hopes and dreams, and to stand proudly beside them. I am genuinely so lucky to have this experience on earth with you guys, and I am just so thankful for every single one of you, whether you are a new listener or a long-time listener. Simply showing up for me and showing up for yourself is just so inspiring and truly the biggest blessing in my entire life. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I am so lucky to have every single one of you. You are so important. You are so loved. You are all my little smoke sesh fairies. Oh, I love you guys so much. If you want to support me, if you would like to purchase a fairy bong, something that I have been just so incredibly excited to share with you guys, they will be available on the spring equinox Thursday at 12 p.m. EST. I know I mentioned last week Friday. There still should be some available on Friday. So if you're planning on Friday, don't stress, please. But they are limited edition, limited quantities. So if you're thinking about it, there will not be a restock, babe. Get it while it's hot, a rarity as fairies are, and they should be shipped in time for us to smoke together on 420. Maybe I'll do a 420 live stream. Oh my God. Maybe I'll do a 420 live stream. Could you imagine? How fucking fun. Something to think about. If you're interested, let me know. But if you want to see extra from me, join the Patreon, patreon.com/smokeseshotty. I'll be doing an extra episode on the spring equinox. So if you want to hang out then, come join. And if you want to see, my little photo shoot, if you want to see what the pink fairy bong looks like, follow me on Instagram at Hannah Marlene. I did this super fun photo shoot, and I will be posting photos of what the pink one looks like as well, and I will post that as soon as they are available. So turn those notifications on and come smoke with me. You guys, I'm so excited. Now, these will be available at canastyle.com. They will be available on the Canastyle website, not through me. It is just this beautiful collaboration that they offered to me, and I'm so excited about that. But at Canastyle, 12 p.m. EST on Thursday, the spring equinox. Let's ring in this new brightened time together, and let's celebrate a little bit together. You know what I mean, girls? But that being said, I love you all so very much. Cheers. Stay sexy, stay sane, and I'll see you all so soon. Mwah.